All of the grades that you see attributed to the prospects in this video will be coming directly from our football game plan scouting prospect rankings videos, where you can check out all 532 prospect rankings on our website at footballgameplan.com/FBGP scouting. The Pittsburgh Steelers are very similar to another AFC North squad in what they're trying to do in terms of roster turnover, and they've done it in an impressive fashion, making the playoffs and not having a losing season while doing so. TJ Watt out of Wisconsin was taken with their first round selection. Now, I'm not as high on him as most are, but he lands in an ideal situation where he can be brought along slowly, which ultimately helps him out long term. I like how the Steelers made significant strides to improve the talent and depth offensively. Wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster out of USC should step in nicely as the number 2 wideout on this roster. And I say number 2 because Martavis Bryant, number 1, only catches deep balls, and number 2 can't be depended on. He has to earn that trust once again. In Smith-Schuster, the Steelers get a workman-like Rod Smith type of a receiver that can take some pressure off of Antonio Brown. Josh Dobbs immediately upgrades the backup quarterback position. He can position himself, quite honestly, to be the quarterback of the future when Ben Roethlisberger decides to step away. He's already better than Landry Jones and still has some upside left in his game. James Conner out of Pitt is another prospect that still has upside to his game. People forget he played running back as well as defensive end as a freshman before moving to running back completely as a sophomore. We know about all his well-documented medical battles, but 2 years removed from that and also from an ACL tear, I think the best football is ahead of Conner, who should fit in perfectly as the number 2 back in this offense. Defensively, Cam Sutton out of Tennessee's game, in my opinion, is very similar to Senquez Golson. I like his instincts, burst, and ball skills. All three will serve him well in the Steelers' secondary. I thought this was an outstanding selection. Ethan Cooper was an impressive prospect to watch on film. For a 334-pounder, he's very light on his feet and showed really good dominance on film in the run blocking department. Local product Scott Orndorff is your classic inline tight end, no frills, but is both consistent and productive. He was also solid all week long at the East-West Shrine game. Faison Odom is an intriguing prospect to keep an eye on. He played primarily as an H-back at Fordham and got better with his blocking this past season. That was a big question I had about his game coming into 2016. His receiving skills is what makes him a prospect with a shot to make this roster. Dating back to his high school days, I've always been impressed with the game of Russell Shell. He has good all-around game and a good field for the running game as a whole. Another Pitt product in Matt Galambos was one of my favorite linebackers to watch on film and also live. I was at the 2015 Miami game. I was shocked that he didn't get an all-star game invite, but he does end up in a very good situation in Pittsburgh where he can start on special teams initially as a rookie. I gave the Steelers an A for their draft. The first 4 rounds of the draft is where they landed talented starters to future starters, and you can't undersell the addition of long snapper Colin Holba out of Louisville either. I think that's a great pickup, and they also cleaned up in the undrafted free agent department as well.